Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It is the Boom Bar right here on your Boom Radio NG. And I bid you a warm welcome to the bar today. Today promises to be a very interesting one. It is Friday, so we're going to be talking about quite a number of things. There's a lot of gist here and there that we're going to be talking about today. There's sports, there's a bit of entertainment. You know, the pop is even in the news today. So that and a lot of things we're going to be talking about at the Boom Bar today, where we talk politics, entertainment, sports, and everything else in between. And everything else in between, like we say, can be anything else in between, anyway and however way the gist carries us. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show today. But I'm not alone today. My name is Dolupo, but I'm not in the studio alone. I am with Sola Rogers.
Were you alone yesterday? You are not alone today. Thank God it's Friday, Jerry. New Music Friday, although Dolupo is the one that will be bringing that to you.
There's no new music.
There is new music. It's just that she did not.
I saw it. I'm like,
she did not do anything.
The music is not new. I saw it.
It's new, Joe. Go away. But the truth is, we just didn't get around to it today. Of course, but it's still going to be an amazing show. So thank God it's Friday.
Yeah, you will listen to it later because I said
5 o'clock.
This is all the music. I like. I'm sorry, but the music is no music in for me.
Thank God the music industry does not depend on you. Wallahi. Too many careers would have gone bust.
It was just not, the music was not musicking at this point. I actually went out of my way to know. I'm like, hey, this is all today. I beg. I have an artist to do at the bar. We don't even have time to talk about regular gist normally. Anyway, so today is going to be a very interesting. We're going to be talking about quite a number of things.
SMH.
Like what? I'm just being honest. It's not going to be an honest person.
Dishonestly honest.
It's not your post fault. Somebody will talk. You say you are not supposed to lie, are you? No. But you be honest again, it's a problem.
You are dishonestly honest.
Somebody will talk again now. If you say the local talks, not what's it called. Anyway, for people that are not wondering, there is quite a lot of gist today. First things first, President Tinubu has traveled again. The only thing is that, let's calm down, is still in Nigeria, at least at the moment. He's still in Nigeria. So in case anybody that has maybe traveled to where they used to travel to,
Kaduna.
Abuja, no, anybody that has traveled to Abuja hoping to see the president, sorry, you are on a long thing. The president has traveled back to, where is he? He has gone to Kaduna. So sorry for you. You come back another time. Anyway, the president, as for people that are looking for the president or on the president's radar, the president is in Abuja. He's supposed to attend, I think he's supposed to even attend a wedding, but he's also supposed to see Mrs. Aisha Buhari. Basically, see the Buhari family, just check on them, how they're doing, and all that. So just when it's just as the president of the country, it's just nice to put.
So he's attending a wedding, the wedding of a senator from Zamfara State that is holding in Kaduna State. That's his primary reason of going there. That one has politics written all over it, as usual, And I was thinking Ubasani would have hijacked him to maybe commission 1 or 2 projects, He's also Mr. Project, Ubasani, the governor of Kaduna. Then, of course, he's going to swing by and say a quick hello to the former First Lady, the widow of the late President Muhammadu Buhari. So that's basically his itinerary. But trust me, nobody is going to Abuja to look for him like Dolupo was joking. I know she was joking. Because...
What do you mean?
Everybody knows his itinerary. Because everybody knows that it's politics season already. These are the kind of weddings that you find that a lot of people are not going there. They don't even care about who is getting married.
You don't even know the people getting married.
They are just there for
for
political reasons.
If they invite you to the wedding, you will not go. Me, I will not go for political reason. Me, I just want to go those kind of weddings. See, everybody that invites me, don't invite me to nonsense party. Nonsense party. See, people that the kind of people that you go to parties with, it matters to your life and destiny. Just wanted to say that. Why did I say that? Anyway, those are the kind of parties that you go
from
to.
the abundance of the heart.
Those are the not before. If you are we good on that, I never used to go to places party before. You now invite me to parties, now the party. I couldn't go. It's not a big deal. I'm not moved. You be angry. Good for you. Next time, I have a party that makes sense. Anyway, okay, I should just move on from that. Anyway, federal government has unveiled a pension-backed loan to empower retirees. Basically.
And so what's that about?
Basically, it's just loans for retirees, like I said. Basically, that's it. So it's basically for them to be able to start like businesses even after they're done with after they're out of work, so that and I think a lot of retirees, especially people maybe like civil servants and all that, they seem to struggle a little bit here and there after.
It's actually funny that you spend the bulk of your life working. I'm sure now they are talking about government workers, and we're looking at the honest ones, not the evil ones. So it's funny how you spend the bulk of your life working for a fraction of what you have earned to now be paid to you at the end of service, which could be 20, 30, 35 years, depending on when you join the service. And the government is still talking about giving you a loan. Life can be very, very funny. I think that I know it is against the ethics of the, what's it called now? The civil service for you to have a business while you work.
Yeah.
But it would have been better that way, So, again, this monies that are being put aside, if they can put it to work for the owners of the money. What I mean is, you see, most of the pension funds, they are stashed away in the banks. And the banks use them, make money, and just ensure that you get your pension. But it should be different. It should be like you getting some interest on that money also.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it. And that's the way it will make sense. So picture if you've been paying your pension for about 25 years. And all through that 25 years that your pension was being deducted from your salary, it was also accruing some interest on its own. You wouldn't be needing a loan. I'm not saying that you shouldn't provide loans to people who have retired. But it's sad how you spend the bulk of your productive years working for government, but you still need a loan to do business.
I think that, like you said, it makes sense that instead of just keeping those monies, it's time that all those their PENCOM and all that look to how this money is, even if it is invested in things like federal government bonds, treasury bills, and all those things, that that it still goes back to the federal government, but the same way we buy stock and you get dividend, even if that is what it is, I don't think it would be a bad idea. Actually.
Yeah, so again, they are using the money for investments. They are loaning it out to people who trade with it. They're doing all that.
Yeah, but
the
owners of the
you
money
just
don't
get
dividend.
your pension.
Yeah, they don't get dividends.
You just get, we're deducting, say, 5,000 naira per month from somebody's salary. That means in a year, after 12 months, it's just 60,000 naira.
Yeah.
You get, I'm just using that figure as an
your
example.
point.
But if it's 60,000 naira plus accrued interest, it would be nice. Say your 60,000 doubles, you get 120. So at the end of 25, 30 years, as
whatever
your salary
saved,
increases exponentially,
as
your
doubled.
pension also increases exponentially, then your profit or your margins will have gone up too.
Yeah, also increases. So maybe it's something that the federal government needs to look into. And talking about the federal government, the National Economic Council actually met yesterday. That is basically the council comprises of the state governors and is chaired by the CBN governor, I think the finance ministry, the budget and planning, and is chaired by the what's he called? What's this daddy's name? The vice president, actually.
That's Kashim Shettima.
Yes. So now what they're saying after the meeting was that they're now endorsed Naseni solar irrigation pumps. So what they're saying is that at this point that they are asking, they're now saying that they're going to ask President Bola Tinubu, this was from the vice president, that's going to ask the president to mass produce solar powered irrigation pumps, basically that is made by the National Agency for Science and Energy Infrastructure for dry season farming.
So Naseni, this is my shout out to Naseni. I like this concept of solar powered irrigation pumps, which will help, with all year round farming. We are moving away from that farming window where they tell you this is planting season, this is dry season. For the past 2-3 years now, Nigeria has been doing dry season farming. And how do you drive it? You need irrigation. So this is a good thing. And solar powered.
And the fact that it's Nigerian made, so it's
solar powered. We have plenty of solar in Nigeria, and of course it's the cost. But because it's by Naseni, a government owned agency, there won't be those kind of crazy markups. I know that Nigeria signed a deal with a Dutch company to start producing solar panels in Nigeria. So all of this movement towards renewable energy, clean energy, to make it affordable, will only have a positive ripple effect on the Nigerian economy. Now, Naseni, the reason why I'm giving them massive shout out is that a few months ago, they embarked on a project where they took a lot of tractors and equipment owned by the federal government that were moribund and they fixed them. Now, the same shout out to Mr. Alilu, I think is the leader of Naseni. The same people are also doing something now where all those innovations that you hear about now. Like there's a young guy in Kano. After a couple of people from the Kano delegation had an accident on their way back from Abeokuta during the National Sports Festival. After the National Sports Festival, a young boy in Kano designed a glasses that he wants drivers to wear, that if you fall asleep it will wake you up once you start. And so one of President Buhari's aides put it out, and of course people started tagging Naseni, and Naseni has responded. So they have a system for innovators regardless, not young or old, all innovators are welcome. So this Naseni thing is really looking like having a square peg in a square hole. And now that they are doing this irrigation, it's a whole lot. They're also making lithium batteries. They're talking about creating Nigeria's 100% homemade phone. So there's a whole lot that Naseni is doing, and I am very excited about it.
Okay, so basically we'll see where that will be going to. Now, moving on from that, let's go quickly to Rivers State, where yesterday we thought that Governor Fubara was going to resume. Apparently, people were at the government house. It was at the government house the whole day, and nothing happened. The governor, the deputy governor, did not resume. However, we know that the assembly actually sat yesterday, and they even had a few resolutions. So a few resolutions that they had yesterday was to the governor, asking the governor to resubmit his commissioner nominees, and also a budget for the rest of the year.
Yesterday Governor Fubara did not show up, but his people did. A lot of his political associates and the general, they even had a rally. They walked through Port Harcourt. Then there was a band and there was people dancing, and there were hundreds of people waiting outside the government house, but it was a no-show. apparently my man was out of state, So, of course, they caught wind. They must have said, oh, he's coming back tomorrow. Tomorrow is today. And there was a massive turnout,
Yeah, the airport.
Massive at the airport to receive him. And also people waiting at the government house and everything. And it is said now that at 6 p.m. today, there's going to be an address to the people.
Yeah, there's supposed to be a statewide broadcast today at 6 p.m.
Let's see what this is going to be about. I've always said it, though, that no matter what it is, all of this politics should not supersede governance. He only has 2 years now, but hopefully in 2 years, the people of Rivers State will be able to feel the impact of his governance. I hope that finally, we can put politics aside. But the sad part about it is that he only has 1 year. If you look at the way Nigerian politics is structured, he only has 1 year, because from next year, campaigns will go gaga. How do you strike a balance, Governor Fubara? The Lord be your strength, and the people of Rivers State need you, and I hope that they can just move on from here now.
Yeah, it's again, so that it doesn't look like we will not, so that it doesn't look very funny. The truth is, at the end of the day, it was everything that happened in 6 months in the year before was completely unnecessary. But
very avoidable.
Yeah, that's the word, very avoidable. But regardless, it is what it is. We'll say we call it water under the bridge, even though it took almost, we will say at least 1.5 years of governance of the people of Rivers State. Basically robbed them of governance for about 1.5 years. But it is what it is. We move at the end of the day. I just hope that Governor Siminalayi Fubara has learnt his lessons. The assembly has learnt their lessons. Everybody has learnt their lessons, and we can move on and have, at least, even if he's not going to do it a second time. I'm not saying he won't. I'm not saying he would, but at least the one that he's elected for, let's just have the rest of it in peace and quiet for the sake of everybody. Thank you, and God bless. Anyway, going back to Nigerian agencies, just about Nigerian agencies. One another agency, or would I say one other ministry that seems to be busting a lot of Nigeria's heads is the Ministry of Interior. Specifically the minister.
Public service announcement. She means that in a Nigerian context, which is a
that's
good
thing.
thing.
That's a good thing.
That's what she means.
And again, a conversation that I saw was really, really heavy yesterday. Again, was the conversation that what were former ministers of Interior doing
for 62 years? Now, this is beyond the shade that you throw at the immediate past Minister of the Interior.
No, the minister. You know why his own is very funny. 2 reasons. Number one, you never really even hear about Ministry of Interior before. Like, as the ministry and the minister, they were all just quiet. But this last one was loud. Only evolved in, they announced public holiday like as if you're sharing money. The amount of jailbreaks that happened during that time as well. To now put the icing on the cake, is one of the few people now that wants to change Nigeria for the better. Should I go on?
I thought we were talking about the new passport system.
No, I'm talking about the old one. We're talking about the old one.
So go on.
Yes.
Go ahead. Go
on. That's the reason why a lot of people throw shade to the immediate past one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So at times it gets played out, it gets tiring and everything for someone like me. And so I'm extending the shade to all the ministers that have ever held that position in the entire history of Nigeria as an independent nation. That it's almost as if they never really had a plan. Yeah, I'm sorry, but that's what it feels like, And in the space of 2 years, we've moved from begging to have passports to someone telling us that passports will be ready in a week, and the the capacity, the quantity, the output.
Yeah.
From 250,
About
300 daily
to 5,000.
To 4,000 to 5,000 in 5 hours.
Wait. Let's be specific. Don't be saying 5,000 was what they said. Don't
no, they also in this statement they also said 4,000 to 5,000 in 5 hours, in 5 work hours. Yeah.
And Nigerians are a special breed. So I saw someone, which I'm guessing maybe is a supporter of the former Minister of Interior, went on about how, it was the former Minister of Interior that all this thing that is actualizing now is the templates of the former minister. That one is not even what to pay me.
That's good.
He now went ahead and said, because we know that they had actually shut down all the other passport of production places, and it's just one centralized place that's churning out a lot more, as you had said earlier. And this person was arguing with the fact that, wouldn't people lose their jobs? What exactly are they doing? And I'm like, wait, what's people's definition of efficiency? Something that moves you from 300 to 5,000 in one day. And we're actually, is it that you want to go back to the dark ages? Like, is it that you people don't like movement, or you don't like innovation, or you don't like your life to be easier?
So here's
I'm shocked.
Here's the thing, though. I noticed that it's human nature. If you even let's put politics aside, it's human nature for people to resist change. People get comfortable. It's called a comfort zone and a dangerous place for a reason. People get comfortable even in bad situations that they would resist change. So you understand when I'm not even talking about this political person now that she's talking. I'm just talking generally how there's a story that always comes to my mind. My church, the church I attend in Lagos here, is one of the first to have its auditorium fully air conditioned, like almost 40 years ago, like a long time ago, yeah. And the story was told of how when the plan was made, people resisted it. Like, why would you put this? And fast forward to the time when I really grew up and I started going on my own, and there was a technical issue, and everybody, when are they putting the AC back on? I'm like, you see, there's a crop of people who are now used to that change that some people resisted. And it's the same way with these passports and all of these things, where some people are just stuck in their ways, like, you want to go and bribe an immigration officer.
And you rather let it last 3 months before you can get your passport.
The guy will tell you the day to come and capture. When you get there are like 10,000 people waiting to get passports. And because they bump you forward and you become number 200 out of 10,000, you feel special. You've paid for it. It's a VIP service. All of those funds, where was it going to? You get, even in filling the forms for your passport self, you don't even know what they've written there. You just know that you are getting a passport. But this system has changed all of that. You get, and it makes it easier. My own drawback is logistics. And again, in the angle where you think some people, because now it's going to be physically printed in a particular location. That doesn't mean that they are shutting down the passport offices. What it means is that, my understanding is that there's a system that allows you to do your capture wherever you want to do your capture, and they tell you when you're going to get your passport. Now, the passport is now distributed centrally, which means it's more business for the logistic companies, all the NIPOst of this world.
Yeah, I think now you can even get it delivered to you, so you don't.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, NIPOst and all these other companies. So at the end of the day, production is faster and delivery is smooth. You get. So these are the things that would happen. The other type of system would be, if you do not want it delivered, you go back to the passport office in your city or town where you got captured, and you go back there to pick it up at a date that has been agreed. You get. So at the end of the day, it's a plus for Nigeria. The other angle is, well of now they wrong go. Everybody just want to collect passport. And the fact that we churning out 4,000 to 5,000 passports a day times over 200 working days in a year. What's going on? Well, now they wrong go.
It's funny though, and you know that this passport issue again. I would say that you just feel that some people are just stuck, because at the end of the day, don't let me assume. I would assume that everybody would want. Why we want it more efficient? Because it's time wasting. So when I know that I can pick out, I can do whatever it is I want to do, and then plan accordingly. That I know that in 1 week my passport is coming out, then I can use it for whatever I want to use. You can't do that before, because you don't know what year your passport is going to come out, even if you paid somebody for it.
In cities that their passport offices were very vibrant, people would have to leave those places and travel to other states.
Oh yeah, that is
I know people who used to leave Lagos as a group. They would take a group of people and go to Akure.
Yeah, I know someone that went to Kwara.
State,
yes,
to get their passports made. Some will go as far as Kwara.
You know that this happened to me as well. I think the first e-passport I got, I went to Ekiti because it was just ridiculous.
Yeah, so these are the things that have changed now, and let this apply to more important things. And the reason why I said more important things is that at the end of the day, not every Nigerian actually needs a passport.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are even getting them as a means of identification also, beyond the fact that they want to travel out of Nigeria.
But if it's just means of identification, there's free means of identification. Go and do your NIS.
Yeah, but there's if you can afford it.
No, if you can afford it, please go ahead. Oh, yeah.
Because again, if you also look at the revenue that is going to accrue, now that they've increased the cost of getting a passport, I think they're by 100,000 naira or thereabout. There's at least there's a markup somewhere. So there'll be some income, massive income coming into, the coffers of the government.
Yeah, so it's interesting. Definitely would kudos to really the Nigerian Immigration Service and the Ministry of Interior. They're definitely doing a lot of work. At the FCT, resident doctors have suspended their indefinite strike, and they're set to resume on Monday. I think that they had a meeting with the Nigerian Senate, and the Nigerian Senate had promised to have a proper sit down with the minister of the FCT to sort out these issues. And you might be wondering, yes, the Senate, other than being lawmakers for the whole of Nigeria, the National Assembly is also the state assembly for the FCT. So basically, they also have those duties to perform. So we'll definitely, at least thankfully, they're going to be back to work, and then we don't have all those issues. Also, NYSC had decided to relocate the Kwara orientation camp to Ilorin. I think there's now at the Kwara State Polytechnic or something, and they're saying that it's due to insecurity to where it is, and they're moving them to a more secure place for now until another orientation camp is built.
That's a good one. Safety first. People would not want to lose their loved ones. Nobody wants to, especially for something that you'd be like, oh, you don't want to be like, oh, I wish my child was not posted to that place, and whatever happened had happened. Hopefully nothing will happen to everybody that is currently going through the system, and that will go through that system in the future.
Okay, so moving on from that quickly, Kano, we're talking about a bit of education. Kano State has recruited 4,000 additional principals, and now that's a very 4,000 additional teachers. That's a very good one, yeah. But the gist is actually not from Kano that I wanted to say, is from Sokoto, where 6 principals have now been suspended for misconduct. Now, there has been the Sokoto state government has announced the suspension of 6 school principals over allegations of insubordination and unauthorized collection of fees relating to GSS examination results.
Evil servants
so
everywhere.
People are collecting extra money just...
It's been like that from the time of the Bible and they are still doing it now.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these guys have gone into the civil service and gone into government work or public service solely to enrich themselves. And that's what you've just seen now. If they have 6 principals arrested, you can imagine the number of people who are into it. They probably even have a WhatsApp group
I will
somewhere
not be surprised.
where they are all dropping updates on how to fleece, Nigerians. It's really good that they got caught, and I hope that they actually get prosecuted also to serve as a deterrent to the other people who have been doing it, because these things should stop.
And for me, another thing is that you almost feel like, is it that some of these people don't have fear of God?
Fear of God.
Because the truth is, whether we like it or not, some people are sometimes struggling to send their children to school. And they are now putting more pressure on people to, what's the point of having state schools? It's free to a very large extent. Tuition is free.
In some states,
they still have to pay. I think most states actually for primary education, primary and secondary education, tuition. Like I said, tuition is free. There's still books. There's still uniforms. In fact, I think in some states you even have to, as much as your chair and table, you still have to buy those things. Which I'm not saying that is still way cheaper than maybe a private school. But even those ones, let's call it spade a spade, it's still maybe a bit of an issue for some people. And then you're now putting them on more pressure, saying that they have to pay just because it's your pockets. It's not authorized. There is no money anywhere. A lot of these, even these external examinations, just SS3 examinations, are even paid for by the government already. But you just, after the government has paid for it, you just need to put something in your pocket. Fear God. That's all I say. And if you don't fear God, you will be caught. You shall be caught. That much I know. I'm praying for you to be caught. That's all I have to say. Over and out. Anyway, police has announced that they have arrested an NURTW leader in Lagos State. Apparently, there's this story that I think the first time I saw this story was when they said there was sort of like a protest at Lagos Island, saying because against the leader of NURTW around that area, and that's the National Union of Road Transport Workers, saying that he and his hoodlums were responsible for the death of somebody. So now the police have now identified Shamsuddin Adio, known as Chameleon. Okay. And then he has now been arrested and been taken to the state CID, where there are investigations going on about 2 different cases on this matter.
It's a very sad situation. Very, very sad situation. This person is alleged to have been extremely violent in that neighborhood. Mm-hmm. There have been a lot of stories of people talking about different experiences. He's high-handed, obviously, according to what people have said about him. And they talk about how you can talk back, you cannot even just be around. Now, the guy that his friends are protesting and seeking justice for, mm-hmm, is said to have been a passenger in a tuk-tuk, the ones we call Marwa in Lagos. We call them Marwa, but it's the tuk-tuk. And it was said to be a passenger, and this other person, the NURTW guy, had stopped the driver of that ride to pick someone. And this other guy and his sister is said to have, from eyewitness, to have chartered this particular ride. And the other guy was trying to explain, and of course he got physical with the guy. He said to have threw a punch, and the punch landed. One of those punches landed on this other guy, who voiced his disdain, that why would you hit me, blah blah blah. And before you know it, descended on the guy, and he ended up in hospital, And of course,
yeah, the person died.
he died.
They said the person died on the 17th. That was another person who's a dispatch rider that
A few days after.
A few days after again. This person is still in the hospital. Say the person is still on oxygen. Is that bad? And really, actually, it gets to a point. People just it's oppression that.
So
people
let's look at it. You see, if things are done as at when due, a lot of other things will not happen. This guy allegedly killed someone. Why was he still free?
Free, yeah.
Free enough to perpetrate another crime that he allegedly carried out. It was when the uproar became too loud that he was now arrested. You know, again, you understand the culpability of the people in and around him. You know, no whistleblowers, nobody in that community. They're probably too scared to even talk about it. Not to talk of reporting it.
Report it, yeah.
You know?
But at times, people just have it when they get, when they're done, they're done. When
they dig deep, and this guy is 55 years, what level of rage or anger can a 55-year-old gangster be carrying about?
Should I be a little honest with you? I honestly do feel that it sounds like something that this person has been doing for so long, and has been getting away with, and it's just he's so used to it, he doesn't even see a big deal in it anymore, and it's just sad. It gets to a point people are just tired, and it was obvious that if the police did not do something about it, the protest was going to degenerate, especially if you know Lagos Island really well. It would not have been funny. So he definitely had to do something.
No matter how strict you are, when it comes to matters of injustice, there's one thing about Lagos Island: they're not going to take it sitting down, regardless of whoever you think you are.
Yeah.
You know that's one thing that actually played out and would have really led to God knows what now.
Yeah, it's very, very interesting. And still
so kudos to the police for eventually moving.
Still talking about
I wish they had moved earlier.
Maybe the other guy would not have had to have those injuries. Still talking about Lagos. Now let's move from Lagos Island to Yaba, where there was another protest yesterday at Yaba, at Tedro Show actually, saying that the traders were protesting that there was prolonged power outage in the place. And of course, it's Lagos, it's Nigeria. Any little protest, it becomes hijacked. And police have now said that with a lot of things that happened there yesterday, 18 people have now been arrested.
Yeah, it's reported by the police that, there's a commercial bank inside that Tedrosho market.
Yeah.
And these hoodlums who claimed to be protesting started attacking people, and they were actually moving towards the bank. So the mobile policemen on site had called for backup, obviously, but they actually did enough to repel them. Thank God we didn't hear about any.
Yeah, because any little thing now, they are looking for any opportunity just to.
So it's obvious that they would have capitalized on that to maybe even rob a bank.
Yeah.
All under the guys. Now, the people who were protesting, their protest is valid. It is valid that, in their place of business, they do not have power. And now, what is a market without power? You understand? Especially one like Ted Joshua that was reconstructed and looks a little bit more modern than the regular market and all of that. They need power. So again, maybe they should have not even done that in the market, because if it's an issue, maybe they should have gone to the power holding company to just peacefully call for the restoration of power. But I know that there's a story behind that story that maybe people are not talking about yet. Eventually, it will come out into the open. But hijacking protests has always been my fear of protests these days, because the instant some people just hear that there's 5, 20, 30, 40 people gathered somewhere, they are the ones that have been praying for days like that. They are looking for their payday, and it happens maybe every 3-4 years where things just get out of hand.
Yeah, very, very interesting. Very interesting matters on that. So we'll definitely would follow that. We hope that there's a lot more peace and quiet around the whole in Lagos State and the whole country generally. Now, Dangote Refinery and marketers. this matter, this their love-hate relationship is not going anywhere anytime soon. As Dangote Refineries have now said that they've stopped sales of products to unregistered marketers. So before, apparently you can just go there and take a truck and just buy. So now they're saying that nope, everybody has to be properly registered, and that as of from today, if you do not have proper registration, even if you pay, it would be denied.
As it should be, actually. You know, the oil and gas industry in Nigeria is a very, very, very interesting industry. And ideally, nobody should be trading in that sector, especially when it comes to being a marketer, without some form of, registration and licensing and all of that. Because it's also good for accountability, it's good for safety, it's good for a whole lot of things. What's the guarantee that these people that you're selling to would not divert the supply to other places? There's a whole lot of stuff. But again, I always say, and I'm not the only one that's saying it, you don't expect a man that has built that kind of business to just sit back and let people,
Nigerian factor into your business. Obviously,
it's not gonna happen.
It's definitely not going to.
So I'm just for anything that shall makes life easier for
Nigerians. Exactly. Now, let's go quickly to a bit of international stories. Just quickly. Sadly, our thoughts and prayers are with people of Indonesia, and there was a 6.1 magnitude earthquake that happened in Indonesia's central Papua.
Yeah.
Also in Russia, there is a tsunami alert after a 7.8 magnitude earthquake.
I don't know. There's a whole lot of these things now happening. Last week we had talked about one or two earthquakes. You know, it's almost as if the one in Russia was like, "Hold up, take my cup."
Yeah.
You're 6 point something. Okay.
And you know the sad part with what happens with earthquakes is that now happens is that it triggers tsunamis, and even though tsunamis don't get to this side, there's always the after effect of tsunamis. Then we see a lot more water down this place, and then a little bit of the water levels rise, and a little bit of rain, kaboom, there's a lot more flooding.
We still feel it here.
That's what
Africa.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
That
it takes, I think, about 2 weeks or
less. That increases the water levels, and then we see a lot more flooding and all that. So those things just have a way of, it's basically a chain reaction of events. But our thoughts, our prayers are with these people. Also, Air India, remember the crash that happened a couple of months ago? The families are now suing the company in the United States. And I'm talking about suing. Remember, we also were at the bar where we talked about how Africans, including Nigerians, were deported from the United States to Ghana. These people are now suing both the United States and Ghana. Apparently, they're still detained. So some of them, like, their main case is that after deportation, why are we still being held? That's why they're suing Ghana. Like, Ghana is holding them against their will. That's one. Three Nigerians and I think 2 Gambians, I'm not sure, are now suing the US, saying that they had court orders and they were not even supposed to be deported at all.
I don't know, man. There's too much wala in this world, man. Too much wala everywhere. Dear Africans, fix your countries. Fix your countries. Every African leader,
stop fighting to go.
Fix your countries very well so that, we can go for holidays in Africa. We can go for holidays in America too, if they allow you, But let's fix our countries. Let's fix our countries. It's just so sad. There's just too much pain in this world over people wanting to immigrate or trying to look for greener pastures and stuff.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on from that and let's go on to the Vatican. Now, this particular Pope seems to be very, very opinionated. So I think I saw a report. He started 2 days ago where he said that I think that he had first said something about marriage when he first came in, about how the Catholic Church is not moving, and looks like the man is moving back to the original plan. And in fact, he now had said 2 days ago that the rules of the Catholic Church are not changing, or they're not bending the rules for any set of people. Now, the new one is that apparently there's been talks of, so that at times, if he's not around, these talks of an AI pope. And man said, nope, not interested.
Interesting. The level that we have gone to now with technology, we must know where to draw the line, actually. But a part of me feels like the people suggesting these things will not go quietly into the night. They will still be there waiting for another opportunity to broach the matter.
Yeah.
A lot of people are doing a lot of things. You get, people are genetically modifying dogs now to look like the dire wolf that died of hundreds of years ago. A lot of things are happening. So technology is just being deployed in all sorts of ways.
Yes. So,
but I, as much as I am not adverse to AI and all the things, I also feel that we need to retain some human elements in certain aspects of our lives.
yeah, that's basically what the Pope was saying, and he said that someone had broached it with him some time ago, and they had asked that, so that people can just go and ask the Pope questions, and the Pope will answer. I said, no, that you cannot put his thoughts into one particular thing, that it might be the same thing, but there's a humanity that comes with being the office, and that is not interested in an AI Pope.
Yeah, you know, it's just like the judiciary, for instance. You have a judge who would usually follow the law to the letter.
Yeah.
But you know, there are instances where a judge goes, you know what?
Yeah, they use their discretion.
Let us try something different. So this is the human effect. Maybe you continue to train these robots to get to that level. I don't know. I know someone who is an AI expert now that has now allowed his avatar be the one to handle all inquiries for his business. He's trained it to the point where the avatar is talking to a lot of people at the same time. They are making calls now. We used to call them robocalls. Now they actually have proper robocalls now.
Yeah.
And while he's doing other things, you get. So I get that level where technology is going to, but I still feel we need to retain some aspects of this human, angle to things.
To it. So now let's do a bit of sports before we jet out. Now, first things first. Interesting news happened today, and the drama happened at the World Athletics Championships, where during the 400-meter hurdles. Wow, you might be wondering why. Number one, there was a Nigerian on that that was in the finals, and he almost got a medal. So what happened was the person that was first knocked down a hurdle, and at first it was said that he was disqualified. Then he said he wasn't disqualified again. So, but the Nigerian ended up being fourth, which if that guy had been disqualified, the Nigerian would have been bumped to third.
Ezekiel Nathaniel, that's his name. Amazing young man. We had picked up on him a couple of months ago, and we've been talking about him a lot, especially at Boom Sports. But the thing about it is that the first thing that I'm happy about is that he has set a Nigerian record. You get, it's a big deal. We've not really had anybody in this 400 meters or those 400 meters and all these other races in a long time. And he's still very young. And actually finishing fourth was already celebrated until the news broke that, he's now third. And we started, we saw that race, we watched it, and we were jubilating because it was a big deal. Apart from Toby Amuson's silver, which could have been gold too if you watch that race, And we're like, oh, wow, we're getting a bronze, So this was good for Nigeria. Then 5-6 minutes after, the bronze became fourth place again. The American got his gold back. And okay, I'm happy for them and all of that, but how come the rules and the laws are so twisted to the point where it's now
There's a lot of back
the
and
things
forth.
that are supposed to be open are now confusing? You know, it's supposed to be open and shut. It's supposed to be clear. You knock down a hurdle, that's an illegal jump there. It shouldn't count. You know, even if it was in Nigeria, it shouldn't
which
count.
Probably made you faster.
Yeah, it did, and I think it was the last hurdle too. You know, it shouldn't count actually, but the organizers and the people in charge of athletics have spoken. Sounds like sour grapes on my part, yeah. You know, because it's really not fair for someone to have felt that, oh, I just got a medal,
And then
I'm not getting a medal anymore.
again. Yeah, it's actually. But shout out to him. It's done really well. It's done Nigeria really proud at this point. Moving on from that, Nigeria's D Tigers, that's the basketball team. They too, it was yesterday or 2 days that we announced that the Super Eagles have dropped in rankings. The basketball counterpart too, they followed suit, and they have dropped in rankings.
Yeah, you know, they have not been as active as they used to be, and at the last outing, of course, there were a few hiccups here and there. You know, one of the biggest problems they had is the roster. The ability to get the very best of all the players at the same time has been very difficult because they've not really had the kind of support that they need from the government, who are the owners of the team, who are supposed to sponsor all their trips. But through it all, these guys gave their best. They really did, you know, because I know the personal sacrifices that some of these players have to make to turn up for Nigeria, just like the women did in Afro Basket. You know, the men too go through it.
So also, for people that do not know, FIFA has officially opened a ticket against South Africa, against the same story that everybody has been going on about the ineligible player. Maybe
the South Africans have responded that they're not bothered and all of that and all of that. You know, they still top the group and all of that.
Yep, and they're topping it with a lot of points. So it's enough to, you know, still be comfortable. Anyway, Champions League match day 1 ended yesterday. It was 3 days of the league stage of the Champions League.
Thursday night football.
It was
in Champions League.
I think I would say that as much as I think it was, there was a lot of resistance when they started this last season. But you see, before you even get to maybe the knockout stages, basically, I think these group stages help us also have a lot of very nice games to watch.
You cannot rule out that the quality of the games were top notch. There were so many goals.
There were
scored.
lots of matchups, a lot of interesting matchups.
Underdogs really turning up and winning their games, and most of the big boys also shut it down big time. You know, it was
records
it
broken.
Was good. It was good. It was a very good match they won for the UEFA Champions League.
Yeah, I saw Erling Haaland score his 50th goal in 50 matches. Nobody's done that. We saw quite a lot of games. We saw at the moment, even though it's just match day 1, we've seen Frankfurt top this table now after defeating Galatasaray 5-1.
Yeah, Gala obviously have not had a good run in Europe, and their last 17 or 18 games has not been great. But this got worse. Maybe if they had their talisman or Osimhen, it might not have been as bad. Just maybe.
Exactly. We saw Man City defeat Napoli 2-0.
Yeah, interesting game. They had a few returnees, especially Kevin De Bruyne.
Yep.
And it was celebrated by the home team, the Man City fans, as King Kevin coming back home to play against this team.
Yeah, we saw Sporting defeat Kairat 4-1. Quite a lot of games. We saw Club Brugge defeat Monaco 4-1. Leverkusen and Copenhagen played 2-2 in that game. We saw Liverpool and their new way of winning games now at the last minute also happened, defeating Atletico Madrid 3-2. We saw PSG plunge, really, what's the word now? I'm looking for the word. literally just defeat Atalanta also 4-0. It was quite a lot of...
Atalanta dropped Ademola. They didn't even take him along. You know, they were like, he has to beg and blah, blah, blah.
And here you are.
Now they're losing, and I'm hearing that they're offering him a new contract.
Getting flogged. Flogged. It's not a 1-0 matter. A lot of things. Also, there is the banter. One team, I think, I would say that maybe got a lot of stick from a lot of people is Chelsea. I think that maybe a lot of people thought that it was going to be a lot more, there were going to be a lot more goals, and especially how Bayern actually got a lot of goals from them from their obvious mistakes.
It's still early doors, Chelsea coming off that fantastic run they had at the Club World Cup and everything. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's why people were judging them and expecting so much. But I still feel they have a good team. I think they have a very balanced team. A team that can afford to drop people that are not even on loan. They're just dropped. They're not playing. Yeah. So I'm going to cut them some slack.
I think that if you judge from last season, yes, most of the people that topped the league stage actually they were the ones that we'll say at least got to the semi-finals. But if we judge by that, Liverpool topped that group stage, and I think that they dropped off at quarterfinals or something. So I will not I think it's early stage to say that some people have lost out and all that. It's really early stages to just write anybody off at this point. There are actually 8 games that are going to be played. So, and this is just one of 8. Now, there's now been talks of Anthony Joshua to fight in Nigeria in 2026. Looks like the conversation is getting louder now.
Yeah, there's going to be a fight on the 1st of October in Lagos. I think it's going to be at the Federal Palace Hotel there, I think so. And they're bringing in some international fighters. So the same people behind this fight are already talking to AJ. It might be a massive, massive thing. There are talks of him fighting in Ghana too, which he is obviously open to. But him having a fight in Nigeria with his affiliation to Nigeria and being a British champion and all of that, it's just going to be big. It's going to be massive.
Yeah. And finally, before we go, a Canada-based Nigerian has set a world record for the longest leadership session. So, leadership coach and author Peter Adeleke officially set a new Guinness World Record for the longest leadership session after teaching for 28 hours, 45 minutes. Okay.
The strength that people have to pull off all these things
is massive.
It's crazy, man.
It is massive.
Congratulations to him, though, because it's easy for people to laugh at things, poke fun at things, banter. But in reality, to actually pull it off, if you look at it,
a lot.
28 hours plus,
You know what it means to be talking for 28 hours?
Deal.
28 hours, that's almost... Yeah. No, that's not even almost, though. That's over a day.
Yeah, I know the breaks and stuff allowed, but even at that, it's still a big deal.
It's a huge deal. It really is a huge deal. Anyway, on that note, that is all we're able to take today on The Bar. Thank you for listening. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back again on Monday at 3 p.m. West African time to be at the bar again. Please have a beautiful, beautiful weekend. Like, subscribe, comment, share. We're still on Boom Radio NG. Boom Radio NG is not going anywhere. It's just the bar that is coming back on Monday. Have a beautiful, beautiful day.
Thank you.